Having a podcast can feel a lot like a one-way street. You're putting a bunch of content out there, but it's not very often that you're getting any signals back. Part of that is because, unlike YouTube, for example, there's not a unified place for people to go to like or comment on your podcast episodes. Podcasts are more dispersed throughout multiple different apps with different experiences. One way you can fix that is with a community. And with the increasing popularity in video podcasts, I think a perfect way to deliver a podcast community is through Uscreen. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. And as a quick note, Uscreen is a sponsor of this video. I thank them for their support, but I'm really excited to show you how you can leverage Uscreen to deliver and go above and beyond on a podcast membership. So with that, let's get into the video. The first thing I want to point out here is that the point of view for Uscreen, and I think it's a really good one, is that memberships equal video content plus community plus subscription. These are all things that inherently aren't part of a podcast, but Uscreen can allow you to take it to the next level. You can add video content, and the great thing about adding members only video content, I know this from experience, is that it doesn't necessarily need to be as polished, and you don't need to spend so much time on the description or the thumbnail like you do with YouTube. Members love getting a behind the scenes look at things. And if you're comfortable releasing a raw interview with video on, that could be a great way to deliver on membership. Number two is community. So community is something that you really don't get with a podcast because people are listening in all different apps. But if you use Uscreen's, try saying that 12 times fast, you use Uscreen's community features, then it gives people a place to come together to talk about episodes, discuss things that they heard, and exchange notes. And finally, subscription. Monetizing a podcast can be a difficult thing. Not everyone is going to get advertisers. Not everyone has a product to sell. But for your biggest fans, offering a subscription where they get some of these extra features can be a great way for you to monetize. So with that, let's talk about some membership features that you can offer for your podcast listeners. We'll talk about how to do some of these, and we'll look at great examples of people using Uscreen for their podcast memberships. But I just want to go through these features really quick. One is to stream live raw interviews. You should get buy-in from your guest first, but there are ways to do live stream interviews through eCamm Live and Riverside, which I'll show you in a second, where you can stream directly into Uscreen. So you create an event and then you can stream that interview directly into Uscreen. Along with that, you can offer a chat or have people ask questions during the interview. When I was doing this without Uscreen, I wasn't getting a lot of buy-in because people would essentially have to look at the schedule and think of questions. But if you're streaming into Uscreen, Uscreen also offers a live chat for their live streams, which means that people can listen, react to what you're talking about, and ask questions. This can be a huge value add for your listeners. If people don't tune in live, you can always create a new discussion in the community area of Uscreen, and people can discuss episodes that way. You can add bonus videos and episodes. And because you are a podcast, you can use Zapier to give Uscreen members access to a private podcast feed in case they do want to consume that as audio. So those are some of the things that you can offer your members if you use Uscreen to deliver your podcast membership. Now, I'm not going to show you exactly how to do all of this in this video. If you want to see tutorials on any of this, leave a comment below and let me know. If you, oh, hey, that's great. How do I set up a live stream to go from Riverside to Uscreen? I'd love to see that. Let me know in the comments and I'll add that to my big ideas board for YouTube videos. But for now, let's actually get into Uscreen and see some of this stuff in action. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is Abundance Plus. This is Justin Rhodes' video podcasts, and this is what he is offering his members. So if we go to the home screen, you can see that they have a popular podcast, and if you become a member, you can join and get a whole bunch of extras. So at $6.99 a month, you get the ad-free vlog. Ad-free extended episodes is one of my favorite things to recommend for a podcast membership. Inspirational documentaries. At $14.99, you get the ad-free, the documentaries, you get an extra series and course, you get the whole library, and you get a private community. And then at $29 a month, this is premium, you get everything we talked about, plus texting access. So this is a really great way to deliver tons of value for your podcast. So again, if we go here and look at the video library for the video podcasts, you can see that there's lots of content here to give members access to even more than what they can get from the free feed. Okay, so now let's actually talk about offering that live stream, right? I'm not going to do a full tutorial here, but I will say in order to do this, you do need to create a new live stream in Uscreen. That's how you will get the stream URL and the stream key. You can add a number of different options here for thumbnails, descriptions, anything that you can add to a video in Uscreen, you can add to a live stream as well. Then if we go over to Riverside, in our studio here, we can scroll down and we have a bunch of options for live streaming. And one of those is a custom service where we put the URL and the stream key. And so here we can live stream our interviews, anything that we're doing in Riverside, over to Uscreen. We can also do this using eCamm Live. Now I am recording this video in eCamm Live, and so I can't show you exactly how to do it, but there is a great tutorial over on eCamm's website that I will link in the description for this video, where they show you exactly how to use an RTMP stream key so that you can stream to your own custom service. In this case, it would be Uscreen. Now, if you're wondering what that looks like on the membership end here in the Membership Plus community, this is a free community for Uscreen members. This is what we see. We see a little countdown. People can click I'll be there to add it to their calendar, and you can actually have your members sync the live events calendar so that they never miss an episode. And there's a description here. Once you do go live, there will be a comments and chat area either on the right-hand side or below, depending on the user's screen configuration. So if we go to another video, we have the comments down here. So this is how things shake out after the fact, but this will allow your members to interact even more with your guests and form an even greater connection to them. Now, if we go over to the community area, we'll see different sections. This is where we have kind of different categories of posts, and these are what the posts look like. So if you decide after the fact, I would highly recommend this if you have a community area, to create a discussion around what you spoke about in your podcast episodes. Maybe you can even link to the live stream here so people can come over, or you can link to the episode. What I'm going to recommend that you do in this case is not just say, what did you think of the episode? For my episodes, I always have 2 or 3 takeaways, 2 or 3 action items that listeners can do. So I would say, what did you think about X? What did you think about this top takeaway? Or how are you going to implement this guest's advice? This gives people a question to consider. It's less open-ended, and if they really got a lot out of the interview, then they are going to go through and actually make the comment. I'll also say here that I've had a big focus on interviews, but you don't need to do interviews. You can do solo shows, and some of those solo feedback or AMA episodes do really well. We saw Jay Klaus on the screen earlier, and Jay does a really good job at his AMA episodes, right? Where he's answering questions that he gets from the community, which is where I get to ask my questions, or across social media. So while he does it for everybody, the general public, you can have members only AMA question and answer sessions where maybe you dive deeper than you would for the general public because your members are getting a behind the scenes look at how you are running your podcast and potentially running your business. So that's, if we go back to our list here, we saw how to live stream and do raw interviews or raw video if you are just live streaming you into Uscreen. We looked at how chat could work for a live stream once you go live. We looked at the community area where you can offer episode discussions. And of course, you could always add bonus videos to the videos section of Uscreen. So we also saw two really good examples, right? The Membership Plus community and Justin Rhodes, his video podcast over on Abundance Plus, which is just one benefit of his membership or their membership. So the last thing I will show you here is what a Zapier integration could look like. Okay, so this is a really cut and dry, one trigger, one action Zapier zap. The trigger is new user in Uscreen. We'll look at some more examples in a second of how you can use Zapier with Uscreen. And the action is create a subscriber in transistor.fm. I use transistor.fm for my private podcast, but if you use something like Hello Audio or Supercast, then you can also create a private feed there. So this is another opportunity for you to offer some more value to your members. And I'll tell you a quick story. I am in a community that I was considering not renewing when my time came up later in the year. But at the beginning of this year, they added a private feed that took the events that they were live streaming into the community and turned it into an audio only feed. That's my preferred method for consuming content. And so as a result, I feel a lot more connected to the community. I feel like I can attend more events, even if I'm just listening to them after the fact. But that was a huge value add for me that essentially saved my membership. I am going to renew again because I know that there's a whole aspect of the community that I'm no longer missing out on. And so the fact that we can use Zapier to give even more value to our Uscreen members is super great. I really love this. And this isn't the only thing that we can do with Zapier and Uscreen. They have a whole help section here under integrations for Zapier. I will link that in the description of this video as well. But it gives us an overview. Here is a list of all the triggers. You get a paid order, a new user, a canceled subscription, which is big. I've been in systems where you can tell when someone starts a subscription but not cancel. And so then you'd have to go through and manually remove membership benefits, which is wild. There's also began to play a video, which is super cool, right? So maybe if you have a course in Uscreen, or if we keep with the podcast paid membership, if you know that someone starts every live stream, maybe you can tag them or make a note about that and invite them to be a special guest on a live stream as kind of a thank you, right? To do a little bit more interaction with them. So those are just some of the triggers that we have here in Zapier. And then the other thing I like is that they've got some examples. So market via get response with Zapier. They have tutorials on how to use Zapier with Uscreen, which is super great. So again, I'll be sure to link that in the description for this video. But that's it for this video. Memberships are a great way for podcasters to monetize. With the increasing popularity of video in podcasts, Uscreen is a great partner to help you deliver and go above and beyond for your members. Now, if you want to learn more about Uscreen and try it out, you can go to their on-demand demo. I'll have a link in the description. You can also go to the URL on screen here, but you will be able to explore their demo to see how Uscreen works. You can learn how you can transition to a vibrant community. Fill out the form here, and you will be able to check out their demo. You can also get a tailored walkthrough if you book a demo. And one more thing, if you have a membership already, Uscreen also has migration support. So if you are interested in moving over, then you can reach out to them and they will help you bring your current membership into Uscreen. I want to thank Uscreen for sponsoring this video. If you want to learn more, again, head on over to the link in the description to check out their on-demand demo. I will link to everything I mentioned in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, get out there and build something.